Just letting you know this is only my spoiler first impressions of the episode. Check my pinned comment for a free gift related to this video. And to watch my unfiltered reactions with exclusive bonuses, join my Asha Media TV Club. The link is in the description box below. Now, here's my afterthoughts of this episode of Fringe.
All right, let's go back to the beginning. Okay, so yeah, it's pretty much around here-ish. Let's go from there. So, just like it opened up with Peter having the nightmare, I like how they opened up with Olivia's version of it. And I think it's officially answered whatever happened in between that blast, that right before she was taken or got lost, or I'm thinking maybe due to her size, of how small she was, when the blast occurred, it probably propelled her body somewhere else, and that's, I don't know, something like that. Either way, I appreciated the opening of this being very similar to Peter, and having Peter and Olivia share this moment here of connecting with that very traumatic event, and Peter acknowledging that although so many years has passed, just for them it feels like it's been, well, it is for them a few months in their mind instead of like years past. And I just like that. It was very nice. It was a good reminder that it really is both of them in this journey with what's going on with the aftermath of what's happened to their daughter, and with the observers invading and all that stuff. All right, let's move a little forward. Okay, so let's touch a little bit with this scene here and the unifier on his head. I guess there's going to be that episode where the unifier becomes useful when they need it. So for now, showing how it's just not doing what they expect it to do, I think it's a safe presumption that when it's probably going to be when he least expects it, basically. And then he'll get the information he needs, like a ta-da thing. That's just my guess. It seems like that's what it's leading up to. And now, since some of you are so good at justifying certain changes, like for instance, with Walter, he's a nice combo of the previous Walter and the full Walter with his brain intact and everything. So these moments where he's a little bit giddy and a little bit weird, is it because of, I was going to say, is it because of the unifier? Is it the unifier kind of scrambling around with his mind so that he isn't as douchey as he was before when he got his brain back? And then it's like a mixture of both Walters, since it seems to have an effect on him in many ways. If that's not the case, explain why, or how is it that it's a mashup of both Walters all of a sudden? Or maybe I'm just not understanding the whole thing with him getting his brain back. Perhaps it wasn't complete. I don't know. If you don't understand what I mean, just tell me in the comments and I'll try to clarify it. But right now, I gotta move on. Okay, so this whole thing about getting into the lab, so that was great. This shot here was pretty good. I acknowledged it during my reaction, but I just love when it's so visibly nice to see. Simple, but effective. Okay. So they get in. Yeah, I like this mark with the dragon. And I'm wondering how many other things are marked around the place. Like, did Walter do that? Or was that already there? And he just remembered it? All right, so we have the camera in amber. This is the main tool that kind of sets off the chain of events to come with the hunt of all the other tapes. It's very much Walter thing to do. I mean, that's definitely a setup from the very beginning. And although, yeah, okay, never mind. Because like the way Olivia said it, normally he writes things down. I kind of would have found that just a bit more believable. But under the given circumstances and the time frame it would take for him to write it, and he was in a rush, just based on how that video, based on what was going on with him before he even ambered everything, it makes sense that it would be perhaps a bunch of videotapes. And not just that, it just fits what's likely to come with the reveal on video rather than in text. All right. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, so yes, then we have here, what was his name? Machete? Marietti? I forgot. But this was very nice inclusion of a twist with this character, and I just moved on from it. Okay, here we go. Stick with this part here. It's a pretty good freeze frame. His fear, and we have Etta ready to torture him, and I'm just like, what is she going to torture him with? Like the standard, I figure it would be some kind of techie, but to end up being some kind of, time-stealing device where he would end up aging. Let's get to that. That was very unexpected. Huh. And then I'm thinking, because everything is always tied to previous episodes, the only episode that came to mind, I can't remember the title right now, but I had to remember which. It was at the beginning. It wasn't the first one. Ah, the second, yes. It was the second one, because the third one is with the radio guy. Or was it the fourth? No, the fourth is the Observer, the Arrival. Remember that. Okay, yeah, so the second one with the crazy birth and the guy who aged, or the baby that aged, and I'm wondering if that's related. But then again, she said that it was tech used for time travel, and they just kind of inverted it, or changed it up so that it would use for speeding up aging. So maybe it has nothing to do with that episode, but I guess coincidentally for viewers, it's like we can associate that with that episode. That's usually what they do, right? Isn't that the pattern? I don't know. I'll let you correct me on that, but it was pretty damn cool. And thinking about it right now, I'm like, that is torture to age me up. Oh. I'm like, which one would I prefer, to lose time and age or to lose a limb? I don't know. I think it depends on which limb. That's a conversation starter for you. Okay, so let's move forward here. Okay, yes, this conversation between Olivia and Etta, how Olivia doesn't know her world. And for those of us, we're very much Team Olivia, we understand from Olivia's perspective, and it rang very true to see who Olivia is versus who her daughter has become. And I'll touch on more on that towards the end, because it applies very much so with the concluding events. Oh, yes, actually, wait, let's go back to this part here, because I said it out loud, but I didn't want to pause to waste too much time to babble there. So the whole thing with the bullet, so how the hell did she get it? Because after the fact, because in the moment, while I was watching episode 19 and then episode 1, it was such a shock value, and I sometimes get annoyed with myself that I'll forget certain key things to bring up. And so here I am bringing it up again, and at the time that I'm recording, and that by the time my review goes on YouTube or you end up watching as a club member, it's possible that it's already commented about in the comment section. I just haven't read yet. But anyway, what am I getting at here? Yes, so the bullet, like, how did she, or even, is it the bullet? Maybe it's not. Maybe that's me misunderstanding. And the only thought I had was perhaps at one point, maybe as a child, I know this is going to sound crazy, but I mean, if she was 3 years old, maybe Olivia gave it to her to say, like, Mommy got shot once. And she just hung on to it? I don't know. Actually, you know what? Let me go back to something here. 1555. Okay, that's where I was. I want to go back to the beginning because I'm like, was she wearing it as a kid? Oh, wow, I landed perfectly. No, she doesn't have. Okay, I was like, maybe she had it on, and that was the only keepsake she had. Yeah, so I hope they explain it because I mean, to have a close up on her again with this necklace, like it's a thing, and I guess maybe it's gonna lead into spoilers, so maybe you can't say anything. But how the hell did she get it? And then there's okay, if she's been searching for her mom in Amber or her parents at that time, in episode 1, then maybe she found their stuff from where they were, where they lived. Yeah, okay, I guess that would make more sense. She just found it at some point and she knew it belonged to her mom somehow. Okay, I'm gonna give up because I could see there's something to it, but it's maybe like yet to be revealed in some fashion and properly explained for me to understand how the hell she has that bullet, and if it is the bullet from episode 22, I don't see how it's not. Unless it's supposed to be, ooh, could be her own bullet. Maybe she went through. Oh, since they're showing parallels, that's another thing. I'm just throwing it out there that I'm thinking, so you know what I'm thinking. But since showing parallels, maybe she had her own experience with being shot, and then her and her mom could like bond on that even more. So she's like, "Oh, yeah, I got one in the head," you know. It's possible. Okay. I think I went way too far. Yeah, I did. Yeah, so the conversation here between this guy, I can't remember his name, but this whole thing about having a son and all that, well played. I got fooled. Were you fooled when you first watched this? I'm sure there are at least some of you like, no, nothing fools me in this show. I catch on to it right away, but that's okay. It was very convincing for me anyway. I really did believe he had a son, and I thought that was such a great appeal, especially, you know, her being a mom. And Edda saying that it wasn't true at first, and she really actually didn't really know. But I guess for her, it's just the experience of them always lying and always trying to find a way out. But I guess for me, the surprise of it was like, well, you still didn't know for sure. Anyways, I guess it doesn't matter. I don't know how to express where that just was weird for me for a sec there, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay, moving on. I'm sorry, I'm kind of rushing a bit here, and I think for the better anyway, just because I can get in my own way with too much commentary that actually has no value. Okay, so the whole thing with the eye, yeah, I like that, the plausibility of it, and it would make sense someone like Walter, although convenient, but still a fitting convenience that he would have a jar full of pig's eyes. And it's not the first time they've made references with using pig DNA and all that, or what thereof, for best mimicking human testing and stuff. I'm not saying it right. Hence why he has Gene, right, for those comparisons. It was good. It was cool. Very cool. And how they got in, and then seeing I think did I pass that part? This new format, I'm still getting used to doing it here. Bear with me. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. It's because it's like I'll get ahead of myself with what I want to say versus what I'm seeing on the screen or showing you on the screen. So I'm sure you noticed. Okay, yeah, so this is where I was kind of getting at the experiments, and, you know, they're just showing you what's safe to show, but the main thing to show was, oh, perfect, there we are. Oh, Simon, my hopes and dreams for you getting out of Amber, especially considering how nicely performed it was in episode 1 with his sacrifice. And I wonder the information then they got from his mind, how much how much it's going to affect how they hunt down Etta and everybody else. But visually, on a special effects level, quite effective. And then Peter having to restrain her. Oh, it was heartbreaking. It's like, thank goodness he was there. She would have probably ruined the mission right there, get herself in trouble, but it was understandable on both ends. It's a good thing she listened to him at the same time. She wasn't too stubborn. Okay, let's move on. Okay, I'll stay at this point here. His observation of how compassionate Olivia is and how convinced she is, as he's kind of said, that they were supposed to win, or that there is a chance. I think this part here kind of summarizes his moments of analyzing that and being somewhat in awe of it. Huh. All right, then we have Walter. This is a good shot of him right here. And then I like how they passed on the joy of this. I'm thinking of Ghostbusters. That's what the first thought that came to my mind, you know. Even though it's just a laser. But at least you know, if you want to kill some time, find stuff to laser. There you go, Astrid. Okay. I'm going to wrap it up by just getting to the end that matters. Oh, wait, but I think this here is the kind of the cornerstone, this one very crucial moment between Olivia and Etta, and just what Olivia said to her. I'm kind of going to Olivia's face here. Yeah, about understanding that the observers brought chaos and all that stuff, but what they took away is what she's concerned about. Fantastic lines. Oh, that's just great. And then to see, well, it didn't have an immediate, obvious impact, but it definitely gave her food for thought. And I think this freeze frame here captured it. Boom. Okay. And it then led us towards that end part here. Okay. Where he tells her the truth. He was a coward. And I mean, I like how they show that in a possible reality like that, which has been the case in our history for not just Germany, but for other parts of the world, where you have to make a choice to survive, and what factors come into play, as they tried to attempt with at the beginning with him saying he has a son and a family. It's very believable because for the most part, I mean, thankfully I cannot speak for I have no experience in that, but I like how they're showing how, yes, there are people that will make that choice, as cowardly as it seems from one perspective or from a perspective. But when you have other people that may depend on you, like a child, like a family, or even just to eat or to be safe, I think it's an unfair judgment to just assume that person's evil for making the choice to become part of the problem. Right? And then having it where in the end, that wasn't the case for him. He really was just a coward. It's two arguments there, but I think they both complement themselves for showing a spectrum of reasons why someone would make the choices he made. But based on his experience with Etta and his experience with Olivia, saw something in their eyes. I can't help but tease it. And don't get me wrong, I understand the value of that and how that's a major theme in the whole show. I've seen the breakdowns and paragraphs about it. I even know of it, but it's my nature sometimes to kind of just I don't know. Maybe it's because it's just it's so hammered in at times, like it was in this episode. So I can't help but kind of poke fun a bit at it. But it doesn't mean I'm undervaluing it, and don't take it too personally, my dear Fringe lovers. Okay. There was a point here. Yeah. Okay. So when he's saying that he has the advantage of this tattoo that no one else could use, and he's going to use it to fight the resistance, I think it's safe to assume then there will be an episode to come in the short episodes we have where he does come through for them. He'll be kind of like, you know how some seasons what they'll do is they'll set something up that's going to be instrumental to the conclusion of the season or at some point, and then I forget about it, and then it'll be like, oh, remember that guy from episode 2 who said he would help? And so because the show is so good at these payoffs, I'm telling you right now, I'm expecting there to be that surprise moment where he does actually come through and help them. And it'll validate the act of compassion to let him go all the more so. And taking his word for it that he was lying about that too. I don't think he is. Okay. All right. Let's finish off where things really do leave off for me to remember for the next episode that I'm going to press play on shortly. And that is Walter telling whoever finds this video, go find other videos, and then put the plan together. And boom, bada bing. Defeat of the observers at the end of season 5. And then happy ending to wrap up the whole series. I'm looking forward to seeing the treasure hunt, as I was calling it. So, yeah. All right, Ashamoji wise. Okay, so, it's pretty much what I was saying for episode 1. The pacing is slower. But now that I see, and now that it has been validated in comments as well, that is the pattern that they're going to go with for this season, to slow things down. But I don't want to. I mean, if that's the pattern, right? If that's what they're doing, I don't want to ding an episode just based on that. Then, if that's what they're deliberately doing. So taking out pacing, which was on the slower end, and it's going to take some adjustment, and just looking at the story, there's nothing to criticize that I could think of. So it gets a 5. 5 Ashamojis. But yet I say it out loud, and yet I don't resonate to it. So I think it's just my own resistance to adjust to this sudden change of pace. So leave it be. Leave it be. I'm feeling generous. No, it deserves it. Deserves it. Because I'm like, yeah, there's nothing else aside from those really quiet moments. And those quiet moments mattered. Those quiet moments mattered. I guess it just felt too quiet. I'll leave it as it is. So there you have it. Those are my afterthoughts and my reaction, if you watched it, to episode number 2 of the 5th season of Fringe. If you want access to my unfiltered reaction to this episode, as well as extra bonuses that I've shared with my club members related to season 4 and some featurettes, details on joining my club to get that access is in the description box below for you. All right, people, I'm going to press play now on episode number 3, and I'll see you in that video. Peace out. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe and check out my other videos.